Hello, Cleave Bourbon here. Real name Mark Tyson. I also write under the pen name Beckett Blaze. Someone asked me again why I use Cleave Bourbon as my pen name. The reason why is because Tyson is down at the bottom of the alphabet. Bourbon is at the top. It's one of the reasons. The other reason is because Mike Tyson. When you Google Mark Tyson, you end up with a lot of Mike Tyson pages, and I get kind of lost in there. So I chose Cleave Bourbon. It's kind of a weird, unusual name. I did it because if you type in Cleave Bourbon, you only get me, and that's it. At least right now, it just comes up just me. So it makes my brand a little easier to find, and that's the reason why. So where have I been? Why am I a little bit late on this video? Well, one of the reasons is because I've been redoing Harrowing Paths, the Harrowing Path. I'm saying it a little fast. Been redoing its cover, and also I've got a new software program a couple of days ago called Atticus, and so I've been reformatting all my books and making them beautiful and nice and pretty, and I've been having a lot of fun with that, and so I've kind of been caught up in that. It takes a while. It's not that bad of a learning curve. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but I've been having fun with that, and so I've been kind of neglecting everything else, even writing. I haven't been writing that much either. One thing I did want to ask is if you guys want me to do a formatting video. Those of you who are out there looking for author stuff, you want me to do some formatting. I used to use Vellum, so I'm familiar with Vellum, which is a Mac only program. And now I have Atticus, which is a PC, Chromebook, Mac program. It can be used on all of it, and it's similar to Vellum, but it has a lot more functionality in a lot of respects. They're trying to make it a software where you can basically meld Scrivener, writing program with Vellum, which is a formatting program, and have an all-in-one inclusive software. But anyway, I'll get past that. I'll go past that for now, and then I'll come back to it later towards the end of the video. So let's just jump into it. Most of you are here for my grammar lessons, and some people were asking me why I'm doing the free grammar lessons. Why don't I charge people for them? Well, I do have classes that I teach younger students. I work for an outfit, a platform called, I don't work for them, I work with them, called OutSchool. And I actually do have classes, but it only goes up to 18 years of age. So I've had a lot of adults and 20-somethings have contacted me and said, hey, can I take that class and learn that? And I was like, well, you can't, because the platforms I use only allow students up to 18 years old. So I'm doing this as a kind of refresher for people who are adults, who are writers, or maybe they're just wanting to brush up on your grammar and you're wanting to remember the basics. That's what I'm doing here, is just basics. So I am working on a program with Udemy, which is, everybody can use it. And when I say program, I mean course. I don't know why I said program. With Udemy, so it's more the advanced stuff, the stuff that I don't really have time to do here, because I try to keep these videos under 30 minutes, around 30 minutes, because that's pretty long anyway. So look for that course. I'll announce it here at that point when I get done with that. If you want more advanced grammar and you really want to get into the weeds with it and understand how it all works, then we'll certainly be going there with that. So let me jump in here with adjectives and adverbs today. So we're going to talk about adjectives and adverbs, and this isn't going to be that long of a lesson because adjectives and adverbs just aren't that complicated. And I'm going to point it towards the writing community as far as why everyone always gives you the advice to not use very many ly words. Ly words are adverbs, by the way. And limit your adjectives, why they say that kind of stuff in your creative writing. I'll touch on that towards the end here. But first of all, before we get to that, I want to explain what they are. An adjective and an adverb they're descriptive words, descriptors. Adjectives specifically modify or describe nouns or pronouns. Now, in English grammar, we use the word describe and modify meaning pretty much the same thing. They're synonymous pretty much, because describe and modify. When we say modify, we're saying describe. All right, we mean describe. So if I say modify, if I say this adjective modifies a noun, I'm saying it's describing that noun, okay? So for example, his shoes are blue. Blue is modifying shoes, or blue is describing the shoes, is what kind of shoes. So adjectives answer one of three questions. Whoops, one of three questions. And those questions are which one, what kind, or how many. So if you look in the sentence and you find a word that answers which one, what kind, or how many, that's the adjective. It's as simple as that. So if you look at these words here, these sentences here, his shoes are blue. Okay, which shoes or what shoes? The blue shoes. So blue is telling you what kind of shoes. What kind is an adjective. There are three shoes. How many shoes are there? There's three. That tells you how many. It's an adjective. This tells you what kind of shoes, that they're shiny, or which shoes or what kind, either one. They're the shiny ones. That's modifying shoes. So adjectives only, this is what I want you to take away from this. Adjectives only modify nouns or pronouns. That's it. Now, if you remember back in the verbs lesson that I did, when we did gerunds are ing words that act like nouns in the sentence, like running is fun. Okay, gerunds are acting like a noun, so I'm going to modify what I just said and say adjectives only modify nouns, pronouns, or things acting like nouns, like a gerund, because running is fun. In that sentence, fun is an adjective modifying running. Running is fun. So adjectives do modify gerunds, or can modify gerunds. But that's it. That's all there is to adjectives. They modify nouns, pronouns, or things that act like nouns, like a gerund, and that's it. They answer which one, what kind, or how many. No big deal. All right, adverbs are a little bit more complicated, not that much more, but they are a little bit more complicated. Adjectives modify or describe verbs. Adjectives are other adverbs, so they can describe a few more things. There's a couple of adjectives that we call intensifiers, and those are really and very, because they kick it up a notch. Like, for example, he ran quickly. He ran quickly, that's just regular quickly. But he ran very quickly, that kicks it up a notch. He didn't just run just quickly, he ran very quickly. So he ran a little bit faster than quickly, than what you'd think it was quickly. So really and very are intensifiers, and they're supposed to be very strong intensifiers, meaning that you shouldn't say things like he ran very, 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 very quickly, because all those varies are supposedly the same as just one vary. He ran very quickly. It's like it doesn't, the extra in varies doesn't necessarily intensify it more. Is my point, according to grammar. What is the word I'm trying to say here? Grammatarians, I don't know. People who do grammar a lot. They one vary is sufficient. It's just like the exclamation points at the end of a sentence. Like if you're on social media and someone says, "Hey, we're gonna have a baby," and you're like, "Congratulations," and you put like 10 exclamation points at the end because you want them to understand that your congratulations is super strong. Supposedly one exclamation point is supposed to be sufficiently strong, although I'm guilty of that too. I do that too. I put like 2 or 3, because it does indicate to the other person that you are more excited than just normal excited. I think it does anyway. Although I would not do that in academic writing or even creative writing. Social media and stuff like that, it's fine, or in texts, it's fine. Just don't do that with in formal writing or creative writing, because it would be bad. All right. Your editor would cut out all the other exclamation points and just leave one. All right. So if you look at the third sentence here, she is really busy. Busy is blue. That means it's an adjective. So busy is telling you what she is. She is busy. Busy is modifying she, which is the pronoun. So the intensifier really is the adverb modifying an adjective. The adjective is modifying a pronoun. All right. In the first two, he ran quickly, he ran very quickly. A lot of times, adverbs answer like where, when, how, and to what extent. But normally, I just ask the question how, and I can find the adverb pretty easily. Like if you say the children often play with toys, how do they play? They play often, so often is the adverb. Or the ball bounced high up into the air, or the ball bounced high into the air. How did it bounce? It bounced high. That tells you that high is the adverb. All right, see, not all adverbs are ly words, by the way. People say that. Almost all the ly words are adverbs, but not all adverbs are ly words. So don't make that confusion. Don't make that confusion. Don't make that mistake or get confused that way. There we go. So basically, not all ly words are adverbs either. So you could say like, those lovely flowers smell nice. Okay, in that case, lovely is modifying flowers, which is a noun. So in that case, lovely is an adjective, not an adverb. So you got to be careful. It's got to be modifying either a verb, an adjective, or another adverb to be an adverb. All right. If it modifies a noun or a pronoun or a gerund, it's an adjective. All right. So the other adverb here is called an irregular adverb, which we're going to talk about next, but is the word not. Not is usually in between verb phrase. A verb phrase is a helping verb plus a main verb, like has been running, is going, has been going. Those are verb phrases. You put not in the middle of the verb phrase, which is weird. So like she is worried is the verb phrase. If you're wanting to change that meaning to the opposite, you'll put she is not worried. So not is in between the is and the worried, which is the verb phrase. So not's one of those kind of weird adjectives, or not adjectives, adverbs that sit in the middle of the verb phrase, and it changes the meaning, the complete meaning of the sentence. So it's a very important adverb. All right. I said the next one was going to be about irregular. Apparently, that's the next slide over. I don't know my slides very well, I guess. This is talking about how this is why adjectives and adverbs are closely related. And that's why I'm doing them both at the same time on one video. Because you can take an adjective like quick, beautiful, sneaky, or expensive, and you can turn it into an adverb by just adding ly to it. Now, just like with science, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should do something. Just because it's grammatically correct to change expensive to expensively doesn't mean that you should do that, because it's a really weird change. For example, some of these aren't weird. Like the first one, quick, for example. The quick rabbit hopped across the road. Okay, quick is modifying rabbit. That makes it an adjective. The rabbit hopped across the road quickly. Okay, quickly is telling you how the rabbit hopped. Hopped is a verb. Therefore, quickly is an adverb. So the beautiful swan swam across the lake. Beautiful is modifying swan, adjective. The swan swam across the lake beautifully. Then beautifully is telling you how it swam. That makes it an adverb, right? Now we're getting into some really weird weed stuff here. Sneaky and sneakily. The sneaky boy snuck the cookies. Okay, good. Sneaky is modifying boy, adjective. The boy snuck the cookies sneakily. Or the boy sneakily snuck the cookies. Okay, it's getting a little weird there. Sneakily is modifying snuck, which is the verb, makes an adverb, but this is really weird. It is expensive to travel in Europe. Okay, yeah. We traveled Europe expensively. Because expensively is telling you how we traveled. Yeah, that one I probably wouldn't use in a sense, because I think that the editor would probably jump on that and say, isn't there a better way to word this? It's like cloning. It's like, just because we can clone something does not mean we should be cloning stuff, especially people, right? So use LYs. This is one of the reasons why you don't use a lot of LY words. Use them sparingly. All right, now we're in the irregular adverbs. Okay, I should explain. This is going to point towards you writers out there. We speak with a different set of grammar rules than we write with usually. In creative writing and dialogue especially, we're probably going to say, you have the character say, I can't go to school today, Mom. I don't feel very good. Or I don't feel good, when that's grammatically incorrect. It should be, I can't go to school today, Mom. I don't feel well. I don't feel very well. Okay, because it's modifying feel, which is a verb. So it's got to be well, the adverb, right? Not good, the adjective. Good should be modifying a noun or a pronoun, right? But anyway, we don't, even I'm guilty of that, because it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right to say, man, I can't teach today. I don't feel good. I don't feel well. That doesn't sound weird. That sounds weird. I'd probably say I don't feel good. Now, in dialogue and when you're writing your book, you should probably go ahead and use good, because most of the time, I think most people, unless they're very well educated or grammar Nazis, would probably use good when they're talking about how they feel instead of well, especially here in Texas. But if you're going to do that and your character isn't like very well spoken, and you don't use well, you might want to put that in your style guide for your editor, so that your editor knows that you're doing it on purpose. Sometimes editors are intuitive. They can figure out that, hey, he's doing this on purpose because that's the way he wants it done, or she wants it done. But sometimes it would be helpful to give them a style guide. In my style guide, for example, I don't spell gray Gray. I don't use the American spelling. I think Grey is so much better and so more majestic looking. And I write fantasy, so predominantly fantasy. So gray to me seems better with an E than an A, but it's just my preference. So I put that in my style guide for the editor, saying my gray in my work is spelled Grey and not Gray. I do that on purpose. All right. So anyway, looking at these words here, sometimes you'll have an adjective and adverb that have the same spelling. It just depends on how they're used in the sentence. The fast rabbit hopped across the road. Fast modifying rabbit makes an adjective. Man, that rabbit hopped across the road fast. Fast telling you how it hopped. Adverb. I got hit in the head with a hard rock. Adjective, because hard is modifying rock. I got hit hard in the head with a rock. Okay, then hard is telling you how you got hit, which is a verb. Adverb. The little boy sang a song. Okay, little is modifying boy, noun, makes an adjective. He sang a little. Little boy sang a little. And that's telling you what he's saying or how he's saying a little. So that makes it an adverb. So there you go. Some other irregular adverbs we've already talked about. Very, which is an intensifier. We've already talked about not, which changes the meaning of your sentence. I have not talked about much, but it's like, I do not ask much of you. That would be like how you use that one. But anyway, so irregular adverbs, they don't end in ly hardly ever. Depends on how you use them in a sentence. And guess what? That's it. Told you it wasn't that long. Adjectives and adverbs are pretty easy. They're not very difficult to catch on to. They're just descriptive words. Now, why do you not want to use ly words too much? Okay. Let's see. If we wrote something like, no, I can't. I gotta do this correctly. No, I can't. Okay. Okay. He said defensively. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out here so it's all in one sentence. No, I can't. He said defensively. Okay, that's kind of weak writing. It's kind of lazy writing too, because you could actually do this. You could show this and it'd be stronger than saying, no, I can't. He said defensively. You could say, he sat back and brought. Why can't I spell brought? He brought his. Too many. I'm hitting too many. I'm trying to talk too fast. He sat back and brought his arm to cover his face like this. Oh, no, I can't. All right. So, no, I can't. I don't know why I keep saying it that way. All right. Oh, got my quotations, right? So if he sat back and brought his arm to cover his face, like he goes, no, I can't. That tells you he's being defensive. You don't have to say defensively. And actually, this is stronger. He sat back and brought his arm to cover his face. No, I can't. That gives you a much more clear picture of what he's doing than no, I can't, he said defensively, because that could be something like, no, I can't. And it might not have any movement at all. But if you put it like that, then yeah, it's a little melodramatic, probably. But just kind of giving you an example. It probably has a little bit of melodramatic example. I don't know many people that go, oh, no, I can't, and get really crazy like that. But maybe I guess. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why you don't. Another reason why you don't use a lot of adjectives and adverbs. If you say something like the sickly, wheezing boy tried to run, but he was apprehensive at how fast he could go because of his weakness, and it just gets a little overwhelming. Same thing with ly words. He said defensively, then he apprehensively walked over to the lovely girl and told her that whatever. It just gets. It seems amateurish. It just gets overwhelming. So those are the two reasons. You don't want to overuse them because A little bit of descriptive words, a little bit of adjectives, a little bit of adverbs go a long way. And secondly, because something like this, you can actually show the defense instead of saying it. And this is show and tell here. He said defensively, weak. No, he sat back and brought his arm to cover his face. No, I can't. That tells you he's being defensive without saying defensive. So you can do that. Okay, so one last thing before I wrap this video up is I want to say something about getting writing advice that drives me crazy. One of the things that drives me nuts, and when I was in a writers group when I was young, before I got my English degrees, one of them, we were talking about figurative, well, I was talking about figurative language. I wrote something along the lines of, she walked in the room and his heart leapt at the sight of her, or something like that. And one of my critique partners wrote down, his heart leapt, where did it land? Okay, he obviously did not understand figurative language. It did not literally jump out of, right? I probably brought this story before. I repeat myself, I'm a teacher. But anyway, he didn't understand, I guess, between literal and figurative. It didn't literally jump out of his chest, you know, it fluttered, you know. So on that same vein of thought, when people say don't use was and were, or don't use ly words, or don't use a lot of adjectives, they make it sound like you should not use any, that you should use find and replace and get rid of all ly words and get rid of all adjectives. Okay, your writing will be very, very, I'm just using very a lot. It'd be like having a house that was made out of concrete, just pure concrete and nothing else. No style to it, no decoration, nothing. It's like the adjectives and adverbs decorate our house. You know, when we're building our house, if you're thinking of writing a novel, I'm using this analogy. If you think of writing a novel like building a house, if you just build a house and you don't put anything in it, it's just white walls and everything, it's kind of a boring place, right? So you think of the adjectives and adverbs as your decor, putting up pictures and things in your house. Now, are you going to cover a wall like I did behind me with pictures, or are you going to put them sparingly where they look nice and you know you decorate? So that's what you should do with adjectives and adverbs. They're there for decoration. They're there to pretty up your writing, to make everything nice, and you know, to give your reader a good picture of what you're looking at or what you're seeing in your mind. So you're trying to convey it to somebody else to make them see what you're seeing, and they're not going to see it exactly the way you see it anyway. They're going to see it in their own, with their own experiences. You know, you can describe something, you can completely describe something, and they're going to see it possibly different than what you see it. But you want them to be as close to your vision as possible, and that's what you use these words for. All right, so don't listen to anybody that says take them all out or get rid of all adjectives and adverbs. It's the same thing with was and were. I tried to, when I was in that group that I was talking about where didn't understand figurative language, one of them was take out all was and were. So I tried that, and I realized because it's passive voice. Okay, there's such thing as subjunctive mood. Subjunctive mood says that if you have a statement of fact, you use was. If you have a statement of fiction or wishful thinking, that you use were. For example, I was a fireman, that's a statement of fact. I wish I were a fireman, that's a statement of wishful thinking. Or I wish I were a rich man. So wishful thinking, use were. And you know, try to use subjunctive mood without was and were. You can't do it. Like, I wish I am a fireman. So you have to have those words. So you can't take all of that out of there. So just remember, it's kind of like moderation, using sparingly. Use adjectives and adverbs sparingly, you'll be fine. Every once in a while, you can use one dialogue tag, like when I said, he said defensively. Every once in a while, using an adverb like that is actually stronger than trying to show it, especially if you're in a situation where you don't really need to show it. You know, no one wants to see that particular, you know, whatever you're trying to show. Sometimes it's better just to gloss over it and just use an adverb instead. So that's fine. That's fine. We have them in our language for a reason. So you can't eliminate all of them, right? So it's just, you know, use them sparingly. All right. That's my adjectives and adverbs lesson. And like I said, the reason why I did this is to help people that want to polish up on this. So my next one, grammar lessons after a couple more videos, will probably be, well, it won't probably be, it will be prepositions prepositional phrases and how they're used, phrases and clauses, how they're used in the sentence. They can be very powerful as well. Also, my next couple of videos will probably be over writing something or other. I've been mentioning formatting in videos before this, and I just got that new program I was talking about. Well, it's not new; it came out like a year ago, but it's new to me. Atticus, and I've been playing around with it, and they had a lot of fun with it, and really making my books look really nice interior wise. And so, if you guys want like a formatting video or the different formats on how to format them, there's lots of different ways to format a book. You can use Word, and I've done that before. You can use Vellum if you have a Mac. You can't use Vellum. If you can use Vellum if you don't have a Mac, but you have to like use the Mac in Cloud or something. And then there's Atticus now that's competing with Vellum. The whole idea of Atticus is to try to do like an all-in-one software. Dave Chesson, who is the development in his development team, are the people who did it. He's the guy behind Publisher Rocket marketing. They're trying to get it where the way he describes it is if Scrivener and Vellum got together and had a baby, it would be Atticus. So anyway, and the cool thing I like about Atticus is it can be used on all the platforms, even Chromebook. So anyway, if you want a video like that, just let me know. Look for in the future, if you want more grammar and you want to go into more detail, I'm going to go into advanced grammar classes. I'm making one. I'm going to put on Udemy. I don't really just want to stick it out here on YouTube. The basic stuff I don't mind putting here on YouTube. That's fine. If for adults and 20 somethings and whomever wants to actually increase their grammar knowledge or just go back and remember what you learned in school, that's cool. That's why I'm doing this here. But the more advanced stuff, I don't think that it would be very popular on here. People would be looking at it like, I don't want to go into that. But if you're interested in that, then look for the Udemy. I'll probably link it eventually down below. After all these grammar lessons, we still have several to go with the parts of speech. So anyway, I keep saying I'm going to keep this under 30 minutes, and I just ramble, and you guys let me. So anyway, all right. I will see you next time in the next video. Thank you very much. Have a great day.